Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. This episode is going to be the best episode that I ever made because I'm going to speak a lot about things I've studied and things that I know, and I've been studying them for many years. And I've always kept it inside and kept it to myself, but I think the public should know certain things that I know. And my goal is to make people think, to use your brain, to that's the curse. When you don't use your brain, you don't live to your full capability. You gotta expand your mind, expand your horizons, and learn new things. So I wrote a lot of stuff down. I'm gonna pretty much like freestyle it. I wrote a lot of bullet points, a lot of stuff, because I watched two videos recently about interesting topics, and I'm gonna get into that. So first of all, I put down technology. So my first bullet point is technology, and the reason it's technology is because technology is rapidly growing at a massive rate, and soon we're gonna be, we're in a very interesting time. I'm gonna put down my book, and I'm gonna talk to you guys how I would talk to someone that's right in front of me. Alright, we're in very interesting times. Technology is growing at a rapid rate, and there's pros and cons to this, and it also affects how humans are communicating. For instance, I think in one of my previous episodes, I was saying children nowadays aren't communicating as much as they should because of technology. They're always on their tablets, or even like dinner tables, or if you go out to eat, you'll see people on their phones and stuff. It's changing the way we interact as a society, and I believe it's making us more. It's good because it's good for people like me who want to find information and learn about what's going on in the world, and use it for good. But it's bad for people who use it for negative aspects, such as putting people down, or bullying, or putting negative messages out there that doesn't help us progress as a society. So let's see. So with technology, alright, so in the next 10 years, probably, there's going to be cars that are going to drive themselves. There's going to be probably robots out there, sex robots, artificial intelligence that they already have, that's going to be more advanced than today as we speak. And with that said, it can be very scary. It could be what I would like to say is we're headed, or we have an uncertain future. We're in an uncertain time. We're in an interesting time. It's a good time because it's interesting, because we've never been at this point in society before. There's good aspects and bad aspects. Like, there's good things going on and bad things going on all at the same time, just like throughout history. There's always been good and bad in history. So yeah, with the technology, there's going to be like sex robots for one. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. I like Joe Rogan and other podcasts I listen to, and they were talking about, I forget the gentleman, his name. I think he was a Yale professor. I forget his name. Sorry. You could look it up on YouTube or Google. But they were talking about, there's the piece of the interview where they were talking about artificial intelligence and, like, for example, sex robots, where in the next 8 to 10 years, there's probably going to be sex robots, and it's going to be weird because right now, with the technology we have, it's changing the way we act already towards one another. So imagine, like, for instance, porn. People are addicted to porn and stuff like that, and that's, obviously not the real thing. It's fake. So imagine when you have a sex robot, it's going to make the situation a little worse. I think it's going to make things worse. I think there's more cons to it than pros. I meant the pros would be, you can argue no diseases, you can practice, you won't be, I guess, as alone as if you were really, really single, and, things of that nature. But for the most part, I believe it is a bad thing. And I only have, I'm looking at my time here. I'm 6 minutes in. I have 35 minutes because I didn't clear up space. So I guess I'm going to go through this fast, even though I wanted to spend more time on it. Okay, so, alright, so, another thing in our society is pedophile rings. And it's a sad subject, but I don't think that people are speaking up enough about it in news and in the media, and I think I want to speak more on that. I think we as civilized human beings, we should be concerned about this because there's a lot of pedophilia going on, and pedophile rings and human trafficking that is very, it's just bad. It's evil. And it's not just people in low positions or poor people or bums doing this. It's people in high-ranking positions that have the power to transport groups of people to other locations. Who knows, islands and different things. And it's a sad thing, and it's not being covered as much as I think it should. And I think we should, as a civilization, be worried about that. And we should, be educated on what's going on in this country, not only this country, in the world. Another thing I put is like some of these, I know this is going to sound weird, but devil worshiping. You have to think, if there's people that believe in God, there's people that believe in the devil, and there's devil worshiping, sacrifices, drinking the blood, because there was this guy named Aleister Crowley who wrote a book that says, and I think he put I think it was called Black Magic, that if you kill a child, drink its blood, you become stronger or whatever, and that's evil, that's demonic, it's wrong, and I think more people should be speaking up about it, and that's what some of these people are doing. Some of these people are actually devil worshippers, sacrificing people to drink their blood and sacrifice it to evil forces. Silicon Valley. Now, I'm not going to get too much into that, but Silicon Valley, I saw an interesting documentary about that. It was on HBO. I think it was called The Inventor or something like that. And it's it goes into a little bit about Silicon Valley. CloneAid. CloneAid is a company, I believe in the Bahamas, and it was established, I think it was in the Bahamas. I could be wrong, but it was established back in, I'm not sure if it was the 80s or 90s. You have to look it up, because I just put a bullet point. But they have practiced human cloning, and this is real. You can look it up. It's a company. It's real. I'm going to blaze through this, and what else do I have? Slavery is not physical anymore. It's mental. So what I mean by that is slavery used to be physical, using humans and stuff, but now I feel like with technology and stuff, it's more mental. People are not they're more scared to go out, they're not using their brains as much, and anxiety, stress, etc. That's causes of mental health that I put there. It's a lot of random stuff I put, but I want to get all my points across while I am rushing through to beat the time. Communication is key to any relationship. Okay, we know that communication key to any relationship. Instagram. Okay, so with social media again, mental health and stuff like that, children are learning from this. So like Instagram models and stuff, like little girls are trying to imitate Instagram models and trying to like the Kardashians, for instance, trying to be these perfect human beings, which no one is perfect. It's like unachievable to be this perfect. You're made a certain way for a reason. You were brought into this world a certain way for a reason. So use that to your advantage. Be as good of a human being as you can. That's another bullet point I put. Always seek the truth. Another bullet point I put. The Vatican with the pedophiles. I said this for years. This came out in the news a couple months ago about the Vatican having pedophiles, a high-ranking priest having pedophiles in the ring. Not all Christians are bad. That doesn't mean all Christians are bad. You know what I mean? There's good and bad in every religion. There's good and bad in every race. I forget who said this. Could have been Martin Luther King or something. But you judge people based on their actions. Sorry about that noise in the background. I should have. Alright, so I would like to have I would like to have people on my YouTube channel. So if anyone out there wants to be in my on my YouTube channel, send me a message or contact me through YouTube in the comments. Also subscribe, because I'm going to make a lot more videos that I believe are important with matters pertaining to things such as this. Pharmaceutical companies. Okay, now I was raised to believe in more vitamins. So my dad's a chiropractor. My parents, when they were together, they had a business, and it was chiropractic and selling vitamins. And I believe that vitamins, our body's made up of water and vitamins, and we should put what we are made of back into our bodies, which is very important. I'm gonna move through here because I'm trying to beat the time. I should have cleared up space on my phone, but I need time to look through everything and see what I want to delete and whatnot. So sorry for rushing. I could have made this a lot better. Should have been more prepared, but bear with me. Okay. So this is a very interesting one. Drugs as Weapons Against Us by John Potash. So this is a book that I heard about probably a year or two ago, and I watched many interviews with this gentleman. His name is John Potash. I believe I'm saying that correctly. And it's about how the CIA had programs to eliminate certain activists and musicians in society, especially in the 70s, such as John Lennon, Jimi Hendrix, Brian Jones, and more recently, like Kurt Cobain or Tupac and stuff like this. And it's very interesting. I didn't read the book, but I've heard many interviews with this guy. You could search him up on YouTube, John Potash. I think he made a documentary about a month ago to the book. So if you don't want to read, you don't like reading, there's a documentary out there called Drugs as Weapons Against Us, and it's about the book he wrote. So it's very interesting. I'm not going to get too much into it because I got to move here, but you should. Very interesting guy, and I do believe a lot of what he's saying. But I also, take everything with a grain of salt. So it's very important to take everything with a grain of salt and formulate your own opinions about subject matters. education is important to improve our future. So the more we educate ourselves about things that are going on in certain situations, the better we'll be for the future of, this country, and not only this country, the world. If more people start educating, researching what's going on, and trying to help people and do positive things for the community, I think our future will be a lot better, instead of trying to play God and make and not to get into like any of that, but like trying to manipulate how human beings are supposed to live. Change yourself and change the people around you for the better. So what I mean by that is everything starts within you. You have to love yourself, change yourself. I've been doing this recently, and my life has been a lot better. I'm trying to better myself every day. I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to drink less and just treat myself as a temple. And really educate my brain. That's what I want to do, and treat my body as a temple, and just be a better person every day. Let's move on here. Alright, I put everyone is an immigrant except for Native Americans. I meant, okay, that's just a random bullet point, but with things that are going on nowadays with immigration and all this stuff, think about about how this country was made. This country was made on immigrants. Everyone's family, ancestors immigrated to this country except for the Native Americans. So think about that, and that's what makes us so great as a country. It makes us so great, but it also creates a lot of problems, and education and truth is the key to solving those problems. Okay, open your eyes and mind to help the future of our country, especially for the children. I just stress that out because I really care a lot about the youth in this country. I care about where they're headed, the future. I care about my future too. I'm doing this for my kids in the future when I have kids. I'm doing this so they can have a better future. And you know what I mean? I don't have to do this. I don't have to put my life on the line and talk about all this stuff I know, but I'm doing it from the goodness of my heart, and I believe that I'm meant to do this. I'm meant to spread this truth. So, what else do I have? Thoughts manifest into reality. So what you believe in your mind, if you're always a negative, or you think you're not good enough, most likely you're going to have negative outcomes and you're not going to be good enough. But when you think you're positive and you're doing good and helping, like I believe I'm helping and trying to inform as best I can, and trying to build my platform and try to build my name and do the right thing to help to put a dent in society's flaws, then that's what I'm going to do. And I believe everyone should do that. Live to the best of your ability. Okay, like I put violent video games, violent movies, violent music does make people more aggressive. That was just studies. When I was in school, we read up studies and stuff like that. So when you listen, I'm guilty of, I like video games and and movies. I like certain movies, and they're not all good, but that's just food for thought. What you take in, it can. Not saying that just because you play violent video games you're going to go out there and kill them, but it does make you more aggressive. It does make you a little bit more aggressive if you, in certain situations. It can. UFOs that I saw with my mom. Okay, now this is a big one. I have 15 more minutes, so I'm trying to beat the clock. Okay, a couple years ago, saw a UFOs with my mom. And this was outside of my house. It was, I forgot what time of the year it was. But this was I'm going to say about 5 years ago. I'm 27 now, it was about 22. I saw UFOs outside of my house in the front yard. And I can describe them as this: balls of energy. 3 balls of energy. Picture the sun in a smaller form, and like that. Like a smaller form of the sun, and 3 of them floating like this in a pattern. That's what I saw, floating in a pattern like that. And this might sound crazy, but I'm just telling you the truth. This is what I saw with my own two eyes. And just so I didn't think I was crazy or anything, I got my mom, who was inside when I saw it outside, because I was outside for some reason, maybe getting something from the car or something, and I got her to come outside and see it as well. And just so you know, and I think in one of my old phones I took footage of it, which I might post one day. But yeah, three like energy like substances floating in a pattern, and then they floated above my house, and then we went to the backyard and they kept proceeding to float until they were out of sight. It was very crazy. Something I've never experienced with my own eyes. My mom's never experienced with her own eyes. It was just something crazy, and I wanted to get that out there because I've been keeping that in for a long time as well. Okay, I saw a podcast yesterday with Joe Rogan and Tom DeLonge. Tom DeLonge was in the band Blink-182. He's a rock star, and he was talking about how he's involved in a government program or something to helping the government create a technology that is going to be very futuristic. Think of like time traveling in a sense. I believe that it was somewhere along the lines of new technology that, for instance, like I forget exactly, but planes. Think about planes. It takes from the East Coast to the West Coast. Say you're going from New York to California. It takes about 6 hours, 6.5, something like that. There's going to be technology in about 8 to 10 years probably that's going to cut that in half, or who knows, maybe something we've never even seen before, but technology like that. And it was based on alien technology from back in the day that was acquired and reverse engineered in a sense to create our own weapon. And he was saying in that podcast, you could search it on YouTube, the same podcast I saw, that he believes that there are aliens among us, or I'm not sure if that's what he exactly said in his own words, but it's somewhere along the lines of he's talked to high-ranking generals or high-ranking people that have been in contact with these extraterrestrials or with these beings from another planet. Okay, moving past that. Okay, so yesterday a rapper by the name of Nipsey Hussle died. And I wasn't too familiar with his music or anything, but what was interesting to me is that he was working on a documentary about a doctor named Dr. Sebi. And it was a doctor who was born in Honduras, but he was, I believe, of African descent, or African and Haitian descent, something along those lines. But he was a doctor who cured cancer and AIDS, and blindness and other ailments of that nature, and he was he was how do you say it? He used natural ways instead of going against the pharmaceutical companies, and he got in trouble and arrested because back in the day, I forget exactly when, but he put on in the newspaper that he had the ability to cure cancer, AIDS, and ailments of that nature. And then they came and arrested him, and he went to trial, and he beat it. He beat the trial, and he provided evidence and documents and brought 77 patients to his court proceedings, and he won, and he defended himself, if I'm not mistaken, which is very, very interesting to me. I saw this thing yesterday, this video yesterday, and it was very interesting. And his name was Dr. Sebi, Sebi. Okay, and he said this plant that the Mayans used to use, I believe. It's called Cusca, and you could Google it, search it up, Cusca, and another plant called Tusante. It's a plant that he used to cleanse his whole body, and he fasted for about, I believe, a week, something of that nature, and he just had those plants, ate those plants and water, and it cured it. It detoxed his whole body. How much time do I have left? Oh, 10 minutes, so I got to go through this really fast. I apologize again. Okay, so he said the body needs oxygen. It is the fuel of the water. 78% of our body is made up of water. Gene food consistency. That's something he said. You could look that up. Gene food consistency. In 2004, he helped Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson wanted him to help him because I guess he heard about him through somehow or another, and wanted him to help him with certain things because he was a sick guy. So I guess he needed the aid of Dr. Sebi. Okay, intracellular chelation. That's what was given to Michael Jackson, according to Dr. Sebi. And you could also see an interview with Dr. Sebi on YouTube. Just type in Dr. Sebi and you can see everything I'm talking about. You can YouTube and Google everything that I'm talking about. You can YouTube and Google, which I advise everyone to do, because it's very good information, very intelligent, and it'll make you think. And I like to think. I like to learn new things. Okay, so yeah, he had a remedy to cure AIDS, cancer, diabetes, blindness, lupus, etc., and other ailments of that nature. So he told his mom he had 13 patients he cured with AIDS, and when he told his mom this, his mom said that they're gonna get him, and the reason that they were gonna get him, I think, is because he had the ability to take a lot of money away from pharmaceutical companies, but a lot of people haven't heard of him, which is what I like about that. The rapper Nipsey Hussle, who, rest in peace, died yesterday, got shot 6 times outside of his LA store, I believe in Crenshaw. Rest in peace to him. But if it wasn't for him, I would have never knew about Dr. Sebi. So things happen for a reason. So he beat the case, and he asked the judge this. He asked the judge 3 things. I think I only wrote one down. He said, does the Holy Bible teach herbs are the healing of the nations? And the judge proceeded to say yes. And he asked 2 other things, and I apologize, I did not write them down. I was very interested in what he was saying, that I didn't jot everything down specifically. But okay, another bullet point I have is body is carbon-based and needs carbon-based substance. So pretty much what it says, our body is carbon-based and it needs a carbon-based substance to help our health. The body only accepts what it is made of. So like I said, vitamins, water, natural things. Our body wasn't made of chemical things built in a laboratory. Then again, there's pros and cons to this. You just have to do your own research, and I can't cover all this all at once. But do your own research, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He took 77 patients with him to court. That was interesting. I said that before, and I thought that was awesome because those were all people that were going to stand up for him and tell the judge and that that Dr. Sebi helped them, and he won the case, so it worked. There's only one. He was talking reality, not theory. See, the thing is, the reason why he won is he was talking reality and showing proof. When you show proof to people and do your own research, you'll see that when you're in discussion with someone and you're pointing out facts instead of theory, that the one that's putting out facts is right. The one that's putting out theory is wrong. You know what I mean? Mucuses and skin blood. How can you disagree with the truth? Okay, yeah. So I'm always seeking truth. I believe we should all seek the truth, and we should all, do the right thing. And what's interesting is he never went to school. That's another interesting thing. So I went to school, but I am always self-educated. I've taught myself more by myself, teaching myself, than I've ever learned in school. Not taking away from that, because I do appreciate all those experiences and all that time I did spend in school. And even though I'm not, I don't like what I'm doing now, paying student loans and all that good stuff, and I'm doing my best just like everyone else in the world, doing the best I can. So okay, he made a compound made to cleanse cells. I'm not sure if they still sell it, but if you maybe on Amazon type in cell cleaner or Dr. CB cell cleaner, you can maybe see what I'm talking about. I think it's called cell food chelation 2 or something like that. Okay, chemicals cannot assimilate to the human body. So meaning, chemicals cannot assimilate to the human body, meaning we're made up of water, vitamins, and we don't need chemicals. We just need to, say you're lacking vitamin B, take vitamin B and put it back into your body. Whatever vitamin you're lacking, whatever you're lacking, you can put back in your body. The important thing to this thing is you have to cleanse your body. Cleansing the body is the best way to get rid of ailments. Another thing I learned is blindness is it's not a problem with the eyes, it's a problem with the intestines. It's a problem with the intestines. You have to cleanse your intestines, and you can see better. It's a problem with the intestines. He went to black leaders, and they just all told him to go away. An example of this is he went to Nelson Mandela, who in Africa and South Africa was having a crisis with AIDS. Said, "Here, I have the thing to cure AIDS." And they said, "Go away." So that was interesting to me, especially if someone wants to help their people. But anyway, chemotherapy destroys cells, so it's an acid approach. His approach is cleansing the body, like I said. So chemo is there's other ways to do things. The science of biochemistry, that's what he was about. It's the science of biochemistry, and Hippocrates back in the day said medicine should be food. That should be your food. What you eat is what you are. He helped Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who was a celebrity who died young. Who helped him, he said. Love that note. You have to love yourself, and that's the most important love. Then you can love others. He went, he said, last but not least, glucose is the greatest enemy you can be faced with, and which is true. If you look up glucose, look up all the side effects it gives you and too much consumption of it. And also, Nipsey Hussle, to go back into that, because he got me into Dr. CB. He was 33, and I'm not sure if he died because of the documentary he was working on or not. It could be completely false, but I do want to say again, rest in peace. And he died at age 33, which is a Masonic number, and you have to look that up on your own, Masonry and numerology and things of that nature. But anyway, rest in peace, and that's all I can cover now. I'm out of time. God bless everyone. I love everyone, and I hope this helped, and I will be back for another episode. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.